This is JJ and Alex.
I made a name for myself. I told you I won't be denied.
As you wrap up your day, it's time to get your fix of the teams you live for and the sports you love. This is JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Everybody, welcome on in. JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Happy Thursday to you. Happy wishes from the RV show. Wishing you were here, aren't you? Well, you can be here. You can come here this weekend. We're going to be here all day today. We're kicking off the RV show, and we're going to chat with all of our buddies. JJ, one thing about us is you and I have become semi-pro in the boat world. We've become semi-pro in the RV world for sure. I've been
well educated.
I feel way more comfortable in the RV world because that's one where boats, I still am out of my depth a little bit. Mm-hmm. I just wasn't boat guy, you know. Right. I aspire to be boat guy. I have been RV guy, and I can operate. I have been in an RV in below zero temperatures in the Black Hills of North Dakota in November on a way to a BYU.
I don't believe you.
BYU, Wisconsin.
I don't believe you. You want to know why I don't believe you?
Why?
The Black Hills are not in North Dakota.
Oh, South Dakota. Sorry.
Thank you.
We were.
Just keep you honest.
I know. It was just we were going through. I was like one of the Dakotas. I don't know which one it is, but you can imagine in late November.
Oh yeah,
a very windy.
It gets windy and chilly there.
And listen, and there's a bunch of chubby guys in an RV. You know some of these chubby guys, Dave Noriega,
sure.
John Clyde, formerly of one of our colleagues, also on the sports side of things, down in the newsroom. And guess what? We had the furnace turned on, and we got through the night.
You didn't have a planes, trains, and automobiles situation at all?
No. No.
Between two pillows?
No, we did have to. We did have to share some of the bedding, some of the beds.
Okay.
And between Dave Noriega and I thought that would have been a bad move to share the king bed in the back, but we did.
Probably.
But we did. A guy who's 6'3", a guy who's 6'6", both well north of 200 pounds. Smart move. But guess what? It fit us, and we made it.
That is the dictionary definition of roughing it.
Well, listen, yeah, we have furnace and fridge. Anyway, all those things are available is what I'm saying.
Well, I'm staring at this Cherokee Black Label Forest River model right here, and you have glass sliding windows in your bed?
You have a deck. You have an absolute deck. And it's really fun. So it's good. JJ signing autographs real quick. Hold on just a second.
Absolutely, anytime.
Yeah, it's good.
I was going to ask him if I could take a picture too.
Listen, but yeah, it's there's sliding doors. There is a front and back deck.
I love it.
I've never seen something like that.
I don't even have that on my house.
No, I've never seen something like that.
That's an RV.
Yeah, it's a washer and dryer in there too. All right, we're kicking the show off. So
probably a spa and sauna in there too.
There's definitely. I mean, there's a second level. You see, there's a second level.
My goodness.
I don't know what's going on in the world of RVs anymore. Once you think that you have the top of the top, they outdo you.
Yeah.
And then you have to upgrade. So come down to the RV show here in Sandy, hang out, and get yourself all sorts of educated on everything. And even outside the doors, did you see that mini home on the way in?
I did.
Don't think that I didn't start to think for a second, I thought about putting a shed in the back. What if I just did this? A mini home and just put my kids out there.
Just a squatter?
Yeah.
Just find an open property and just slap that thing down.
I just go, sweetie, I'm going to take a couple days. Where at? Backyard.
Backyard. See you Monday. I'm out.
I'll be at the condo.
Oh, my gosh. That'd be a good life.
I know.
You got ideas. I like that you have ideas.
Or I start thinking too. I'm like, where can I put this? Where can I? Can I just get like a piece of land out in Oakley and just park it out there?
That's the great thing about coming to the RV show is all of a sudden you can use your imagination and come up with all kinds of ideas.
I start thinking for sure. So, but welcome. You can come down and say hi to us and hang out. And we're going to kick our show off though with some college football talk, and specifically some hot G6 talk. I know that might not float your boat all the time, but I'm interested in what the new world of the Pac-12. Of course, here in the state of Utah, we're interested in what the Pac-12 is going to look like.
Absolutely,
going forward as well.
Impact on Utah State and
college
football in general.
I think it's good to talk about. I want to talk right off the bat about what the strongest G6 is now. That matters, right? And so
100%.
It matters to be in that conversation at the top because now you're talking about putting yourself in the conversation at the national level in the college football playoff. Can you be the next JMU? Can you break through and do what JMU and Tulane and Boise State haven't been able to do in this new world of the college football playoff? Let's kick the show off officially here with the cut, and we'll do it right now.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right. We just got an update from our producer, Alex Napolis. Our guy, Sam Farnsworth, who's going to join us during the program today. We were anticipating the hockey game to be over. I thought it was over, too. Latvia putting up a fight. Not much of a fight, but Team USA up currently 4-1 on Latvia, and they don't just do a mercy rule thing, JJ. They're going to make them play the whole thing out. So Sam's going a little bit late on this one, and we're going to get with him. As soon as this is over, he's going to get sound from Team USA, and then we're going to get that immediate reaction from Sam, who's on the ground in Italy, Milan or Cortina, or maybe neither, somewhere in the northern parts of the Dolomites for you to be able to dip in. So in the meantime, let's talk a little bit about this, JJ. With the new version of the Pac-12 going forward, the football schedule has now rolled out a full slate, including that for the Week 13 flex, which I think is a fun add to all of this. Give me your thoughts on the new Pac-12 and where it lands compared to the other G6s that are across the land.
I love the depth of the new Pac-12. If you look at the depth, it's really good, and if a lot of these programs that are in there, like let's say Colorado State under Jim Mora, can take another step up. They've had some rough years recently, but we've seen what that program can do when things are rolling there. They've had some really good years and some good players and some good teams. Can Colorado State get up to that level that they're used to being at? Fresno State's the same way. Fresno State used to have some great football teams and some great players over the years. They haven't been what they are. Obviously, the David Carr years and Devontae Adams, those were some really good Fresno State teams, and they had a period of time when they were in the WAC where they were really good too. Washington State coming in is interesting because they've had obviously a lot of turnover with their coaches, but it's understandable why, because they've been kind of in this no man's land.
Yeah.
But Washington State's a place in Pullman where if you get the right coach and the right guys, you can win in that place. And so I like them too, and Oregon State's always been a sleeping giant.
Of course. And, I am sad for what we've seen out of particularly Oregon State.
Yeah.
I've been to games in Corvallis a couple of times. That place is awesome. That town loves their football program. To get, I think in a lot of ways you feel like they've been neutered because they are taken out.
Same problem as Washington State.
Right. And
what happens if they get back on their feet in a solid conference with great competition, and then they can go out and recruit, and they can get NIL from their great donor fan base, which they have.
Right.
Right? I mean,
it's never going to be the same. You're never going to be at that level.
No.
And maybe the P4 shifts, and it will in the future. Some version of what the future of college football looks like is going to be very different. As soon as we get things set, it all changes again. But is Washington State, Oregon State in that? How can they lift where they stand, so to speak, and go, we're just going to lean into this Pac-12 situation. We're going to win this conference. We're going to go ahead at this thing. We're going to dominate and show people that, like, you guys are coming to our conference, and it's our conference. We're the ones. These guys are. I mean, Oregon State's an OG to the Pac-6, JJ. Like, this is a program that's been around a long, long, long time.
They think they're better than it, and that's totally fine. Go out and prove it. Washington State thinks they're better than this. Should Washington State and Oregon State dominate that conference? Probably. They have greater resources, and they have greater facilities, or at least they should at this point. But we'll have to wait and see on that. But they're going in probably thinking they're the favorites. But then you mentioned where Utah State is at with the way their program has been built. San Diego State obviously has had momentum and has a lot of momentum. So there's some really good teams. I just mentioned all those teams. That's a great conference. It's not Power 4. We get it. But you have two former Power Conference teams and a lot of teams that have been knocking on that door or want to be there. And then, of course, the juggernaut Boise State. Where's the weak link there? There's a lot of depth. Texas State may be coming in. But that's a lot of depth to a conference in the G6.
We talked about it.
I don't think even the American can match that depth.
Yeah. I think that, well, what's interesting about the American is, and I think this happens, the G6s, I think, have two things going. one, you don't have to have a strong league because it really only matters if you are the very top of the absolute worst conference.
Though, when it comes to college football playoff rankings.
When it comes to the
because you have to be the highest ranked, and if your strength of schedule is stronger, your conference is stronger, you're going to get that bid more often than not.
But I think that Tulane has shown and JMU has shown that if you have a year where you do it, man, and you are in the Sun Belt or you are in the American, they're going to look at you and they're going to have to look at you because at some point some of these really good G6 conferences, really good G6, whatever that means, maybe they do. They're so good that they all kind of eat one another, and then you become a part of that conversation. Now, you remember Navy was on its way to an undefeated season. I think it was I think they were 10-0. Do you remember this? And they were like getting votes in the top 25. They weren't even in it because they had such a weak schedule. And I'm looking at you brought up Boise State. So they kick things off at Oregon immediately. A lot of these teams are playing, like Colorado State, for example, comes to BYU. Remember, this is on their schedule. And also, you look at Fresno State. They go to USC first week. So all of these guys have an opportunity. Oregon State goes to Big 12 teams. Then they go Houston at Houston. Then they host Texas Tech.
Right.
Like, these are things that are on their schedule that have been on there for a while. And if you are in these conferences and you win that first – these games kick off the beginning of your season, and you're always playing a pretty big Power 4 conference because you know what? You're a G6, you're the Pac-12, and it's a different Pac-12, and a lot of these teams come knocking and go, we need to fill our schedule. You'll do fine because we'll pay you to come to our place so we can kick the snot out of you. Well, one of these years, Texas State, I don't know when it's going to be, will surprise a Texas.
Sure.
That's who they play first week. But what does that look like? I don't know.
Does a Utah State go on the road this year at Washington and steal one there?
And Washington's not a juggernaut, right? But they're a pretty darn good football team right now. But why not? Why not go there? At Utah seems like a really, really tall ask.
Utah State's got their opportunities.
But you know what? I love that game's coming back. And so you look across the board. Their very first conference game is at Boise State in the Pac-12. So it'll be really cool to see that Pac-12 insignia on the gross blue turf, and then the Aggies kicking off. It seems appropriate. Pac-12 play officially against Boise State, a rivalry that feels like a rivalry, already.
Another thing that the Pac-12 is doing is this flex week.
Tell me what that is. Tell me how it works.
They have projected matchups, but they're not solidified yet. And what's great about that is going to allow them to put together the matchups they want that's most advantageous to the conference in that final week.
It's brilliant.
That's the November 28th week. That's rivalry week. It's right after Thanksgiving to try to get themselves the best possible matchup in their Pac-12 championship game and also give their other teams a chance to show what they can do in that last week. They're thinking outside of the box.
I think it's brilliant.
Which you have to do in 2026 if you're a G6.
100%. And here's what's great about it, too. Well, I don't know what the rules are on the flex, but let's say you have a game where two teams face off against one another at the beginning of the year. Is there a possibility in that flex of rematching them again?
You could if you want to.
I guess you could.
Well, and so far right now, the projected matchup for Utah State is Boise State, who they play in Boise on October 3rd.
That's phenomenal.
But so let's say this plays out. So Utah State doesn't have – who's not on their schedule here? I'm just trying to think of a team that's out there that's – so Oregon State. Let's say Oregon State and Utah State haven't played yet, but there's 4 teams that have a chance to play in the Mountain West Championship game. You got to figure out who the two teams are. Instead of having Utah State play, I don't know, Colorado State that week, you're going to have them play against Oregon State to get the top 4 teams to help them decide who is going to be in that Mountain West Championship game. This year you saw a weird tiebreak scenario in the Mountain West where you didn't really probably get the teams you wanted in there.
Yep.
And you avoid that whole thing completely because you can break the tie by manipulating that last week matchup to get the best teams in the best scenarios.
You know what's going to happen is that the Power 4 conferences, and they should, they're going to see this model. It's not going to be a threat to them.
Oh, I could see everybody doing this.
And frankly, to make football better, they should. Because in the end. But what's funny is that the bigger conference, you think about the SEC, they might run from something like this because they're like, no, we're not going to.
Probably. You're probably right.
Or they might make that flex game so they go, let's get these guys undefeated. Let's give them, let's give them Mississippi State a second time. Why not?
Let's apply this to the Big 12 this year. Okay, so Texas Tech does not play BYU or Utah. So you go into a flex week. It's like, okay, well, Texas Tech didn't play those other two. They're undefeated. Right. They haven't lost all year. Are we sure Texas Tech deserves to be in the championship game because they haven't played BYU or Utah?
Make them play Utah.
Let's make them play whoever. Yeah. Let's figure it out. Let's say, for instance, BYU and Tech are undefeated. Utah's got one loss to BYU. Suddenly, okay, well, instead of Texas Tech playing, I don't know, whatever bum schools at the end of the bottom of the back, the West Virginia or something, you have them play Utah. Utah gets their shot at Texas Tech. Utah gets their shot at a Big 12 championship game. Texas Tech gets a chance to get a big quality win and advance and prove to everybody that they can get a better win. You're starting to strengthen your team's resume because you can manipulate and change the matchup in the final week to help boost their resume, not just for the Big 12 championship game, but for the college football playoff. It's genius, and I would love to see the other conferences implement this. Let's see how it goes in the Pac-12 this year, but unless you see an agenda like that with the SEC where they don't want to find out, maybe the Big Ten doesn't want to do that either. Let's see how it plays out, but I would love to see this happen in all the conferences. You want to get the best teams in the best matchup, and these conferences are so big now, the best teams don't play each other.
Yeah, and to give yourself the best look, and if let's say the Pac-12 is in a spot where they're looking across the country and there's a contender in the American that they have the ability to say, hey, look, we can put our best up against that resume if we give them a tough 13th game before the conference, because it's week 13. I guess it's not a 13th.
It's
game.
week 12.
It'd be the 12th game of the season. The 13th game would be the Pac-12 championship.
Correct.
But if you could give them a little boost of, a Boise State beating this is hilarious, but just for fun and just for saying it, a Colorado State team that's 10-2, and you go,
sure,
get those guys in there and let's make them play again because that will have more of a weighted feel to it. That's a team that has ranked or had been ranked. You just make yourself even bigger, and it's the stuff that, frankly, JJ, the big conferences, now that I'm saying it out loud, they'll actually run from that stuff at the end of the year. If we know the SEC and if we know the Big Ten.
This could be a great thing for the Big 12.
But they'll always
strengthen their resume to get multiple teams into the playoff.
Of course. And for the Big 12, it makes sense. For those bigger conferences, they will get together and go, and they'll pretend, and they'll say, no, our conference schedule is so tough, you guys have no idea. This is what we've done. Our resume speaks for itself because it has SEC on it, on the top of it, or Big 10 on top of it. The Big 12 absolutely could take advantage of something like this. And Brett Yormark's a forward-thinking dude. I bet he looks at this and goes, man, we should have thought of that. And maybe he hates the idea.
This will be a lot more creative than glass floors at the basketball tournament.
I'll tell you what, he's probably looking at it. He might poo-poo this, and he will up until they need it. You know what I mean? Like, they will look and they'll go, oh, my gosh, we have a Texas Tech and a Utah or a BYU and a Texas Tech who are looking at this thing, and before one of these teams may play each other in the conference championship game, we don't need a cupcake at the end of this schedule for these guys. They can't. They have to be on. And by the way, those flex games, I don't know what the broadcast promises are up until this point, but if you're a broadcaster and you see a Power 4 conference go, we're basically giving you a Pac-12 or a pre-Big 12 championship, not preview, but one that will affect the game so much that you're not going to want to miss it.
Premium G6 matchup on whatever your partners are, CBS. They just signed a deal. I don't have the networks in front of me, but CBS Sports, a lot of big games will be streaming on Paramount Plus. Yeah. I can't remember what other networks are involved in the new Pac-12 deal, but they've got a new deal that they've just came to an agreement on. And so the
Cartoon Network?
The championship game is going to take place on CBS Sports.
Cartoon Network.
You know what? If it's on Cartoon Network at 8 o'clock on a Saturday night, I'll watch it.
Adult Swim, the different version of it. Like, they just go full sports area. I love it. I don't know what these teams do, but in the group of 6 conferences that are out there right now, here's what you got. American, Conference USA, Mid-American. The Mid-American is obviously the MAC, which is MACtion, which is, teams that sometimes make some kind of a push.
What's the first word in the MAC? Mid?
It is mid.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Mountain West, which of course has gotten a way different facelift now as they just welcome North Dakota State into the fold. North Dakota State, Wyoming.
Let's talk about North Dakota State in a second.
I want because I'm looking at the new Mountain West, and it is hard to wrap your brain around Air Force being with Northern Illinois, Hawaii, and San Jose State, and Nevada, and UNLV, and New Mexico now welcoming UTEP and North Dakota State into the fold as well with Wyoming. So I don't know what North Dakota State looks like. We talked a little bit about it yesterday and how that move is brilliant for them. It's a great time to do it. It's a great conference to jump into because it's in that conversation already with some teams that may be a little bit – obviously are going to be more competitive than I think even the MAC and certainly the Sun Belt. There are a couple of in both, and they have in the Sun Belt has a disadvantage because they have the division thing. They got to get out.
Got to get rid of that.
And so – American, Conference USA, Mid-American, Mountain West, Pac-12, and Sun Belt. Pac-12 is already the strongest G6 conference of all this.
Based on everything that we've seen right now, I'm going Pac-12 1, American 2, which is a complete change.
Yeah.
That shows you the strength of the new Pac-12. I'm going to go Sun Belt, Mountain West, Conference USA, MAC. Which, I mean, maybe that's insulting to the MAC, but
that's where they're at.
Maybe I would put the MAC ahead of Conference USA. Because I don't know that there's a Conference USA team right now.
Conference USA.
I can say, okay, Kennesaw State and Jacksonville State were the top two teams and played on the championship game last year.
Liberty's put some decent seasons together.
Yes.
But other than that, you're right.
That's not a conference that you're going to – nobody there is competing for that G5. La Tech's in there, Western Kentucky. I'm sorry.
Don't forget
Missouri State or FIU is not going to get the G5.
Don't forget the Blue Hens.
Okay.
Delaware. In.
Speaking of making the jump from FCS, hey, it's pretty cool that they've done that, but they got a ways to go. They're not North Dakota State.
Is that what's his name? Joe Flacco? He
was the Delaware Blue Hen.
All right.
So the American, obviously, we're very familiar with who's in the American. They obviously have Tulane, North Texas, Navy. They have some teams in there that are definitely a force. Memphis also being one of those. They usually have had the edge when it comes to getting that G5, or it's been the Mountain West, but now obviously the Pac-12. I think that the American's still in the mix. It's always going to be between the American and the Pac-12, with these two exceptions. JMU is still going to continue to dominate the Sun Belt
for a minute. Yep,
they have a great program, and then I think North Dakota State making the jump up to the Mountain West. That is a league now that is there for the taking. And we went on this exercise when the announcement was made, and we couldn't come up with one team in the Mountain West that we felt was better right now than North Dakota State's football program. Not one. We thought maybe UNLV, and then New Mexico's on the rise with Coach Eck. They've been pretty good. But I'm picking North Dakota State in a matchup against both those teams. So North Dakota State, this move from FCS could quickly become a force when it comes to that G6 auto bid into the playoff, which would be a phenomenal ascension from FCS playoff champion multiple times to suddenly be in the college football playoff. James Madison made a jump this year to do that. It took him a little bit of time, but they're there, and Kurt Cignetti had a big role in that.
Go Bison. All right.
There you go.
Let's figure it out. We were going to have Sam Farnsworth, but I think Team USA is still going here. What is it, 5-1?
Yeah, let me check in real quick before we go to break.
Last time I saw it was 5-1, and they still had a few minutes
left. It is 5-1 with 7:50 left in the third period.
Man, this is a slow go, isn't it? There's a lot of penalty minutes going on. Jeez. Well, we'll get a hold of Sam Farnsworth when time dictates. So we're going to get into it, and we've got more to go around the corner. Stay here. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
You know what's coming. Your daily deep dive into everything Utah Jazz. It's time! All season long and even in the off season. It's Jazz Daily with JJ and Alex on your exclusive home of Utah Jazz basketball. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for being with us on the program. You know what that music means. Of course, it is our Jazz Daily here on the program. Lots of Jazz talk because they had a game last night. They've got a game tonight, JJ, which I think is the last one before the break, right? Does that sound yeah. Tonight versus the Trailblazers.
This is it.
And last night versus the Kings. The Kings knew the assignment.
Yeah, they did.
The Jazz, on the other hand,
I thought what the Kings did last night was egregious.
It was reprehensible.
I thought what the Kings did last night is messing with the integrity of the National Basketball Association.
Can you believe this team? I mean, they go in there, and they just have basically a glorified G League team going out there against the Utah Jazz. And the Jazz, bless their hearts, they kicked the crap out of them in that first quarter. Were they already up 20 at the end of the first?
Yeah, it was bad.
It was bad at the very beginning. When did Triple J actually sit? Because I was looking, and I'm going, oh. I took the over on the 26.5. You took the under.
I warned you. I warned you.
Well, I didn't know there was going to be a season-ending injury during the middle
Jazz
of all
didn't
this.
take last night. They just didn't need to have to play the starters because they kicked their butts so bad.
My favorite move that has ever been done on whether or not you're going to rest your stars or not is, hey, we don't like what that knee looks like. Saw a little. It didn't look 100% from here, from my seat. I called them and I said, hey, we should look inside that knee, man.
And they did. You know what they found?
Something.
They found the tumor.
What they found was they're like, and you heard the language.
Jaren Jackson Jr.'s got a tumor.
You heard what the language was. It was very, the Jazz feel this is a, what did they call it? Is like, will be a beneficiary procedure for the long-term health of Jaren Jackson Jr. going forward with this team. And it made it sound like that maybe there was some stuff in there. I'm not saying they're making up that he needs to get some stuff fixed. They could probably go into any knee in this entire league.
Could you have waited until May?
1,000%.
Yeah.
What's the point? And you know what? For him, he's probably thinking the same thing. Like, hey, this dance is not fun for me either. Like, I get hit with a lot of this whole, So
it's good.
Again,
for the best.
It's for the best
for a lot of different reasons. We got 3 games of Triple J. It was great. We all know and are excited now about what the future looks like, and now it's going to help the Jazz make sure that they get that goal of making sure that pick stays in Utah. It's too valuable.
Yeah. And look, they've now with 18 wins, what's crazy is that the Mavericks, I think, have lost 9 in a row or 10.
Yeah.
They're right there. I think they're a 19-win team. It's getting too close for comfort, right? Because
something had to be done.
It's getting too close for comfort. Because even like the Bulls have now like entered the chat on playing those games.
Yeah.
And so they're a 20-win team. That doesn't feel great either. So all of these things that stare at you, and it's a weird conversation to be having, but I have jumped fully into it after relinquishing and saying, you know what, I'm on board because this is how the game is played. And I know that the integrity of the Utah Jazz is in place. I'm not questioning that at all. I will never question it. I think that Will Hardy is the picture of a guy who wants to be competitive and win. And he's also up against a very weird, very strange moment in his career where he's trying to develop guys and trying to make sure that they get the best talent on this team possible. While also not just handing the best talent to one of the best teams in the league that they can. I mean, it's just it's so weird that the Thunder are like, what do you – look at what they're doing, y'all. And you're like, you guys, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. This is – it's just so dumb, and I get it. And everybody kind of talks around it. I don't have any – I don't care about talking around it anymore.
So we've been talking on this too. You know why the Jazz are getting so much pushback because of what they did. It's not tanking. It's how they tanked.
Yeah.
And you know why that was such a problem? Gambling.
Oh. ESPN.
Why do you think the ESPN people suddenly have such an issue with what the Jazz are doing, talking about the integrity of the game?
What was it?
And what they're doing is egregious.
Yeah.
And so many angry people on social media. Suddenly all these people on social media hate the Jazz and hate their tank. Tanking's not new. So why all of a sudden was this coming out? Gambling, folks. When you have a pregame report, an injury report that comes out and says that Jaren Jackson Jr. and Lauri Markkanen and Keontae George are playing, people are going to bet on the Jazz to win that game. And when those players stop playing in the fourth quarter and try to lose, they mess with the gamblers. You never mess with the gamblers.
We have this
the
discussion.
Gamblers are the reason why everyone's upset. And these entities that are in bed with the gamblers are upset because it's bad for their business.
So
they're going to have backlash about it.
On Monday, when you and Alex Naples, our producer, were on a date at the Super Bowl still.
That's right. I said no to the street glizzy. And I'm grateful I did.
I forgot that's his new nickname. It's just Street Glizzy.
Street Glizzy.
So when you guys were on your when you guys were on your Super Bowl date, touring the food options of San Francisco, we had this discussion because I think at one point one of the betting houses was discussing whether or not to take teams like the Jazz, like the Kings. Who else is on that list? Like the Pelicans, whomever. All the people that are at the very bottom, they just go, look, we might just take them off the board.
Indiana.
You might just take them off the board.
Washington.
And it's probably worth it. I'm telling you, I don't know why this would be talked about right now for the first time. Like, the tank happens with 2 to 3 teams. This year it's 4 or 5 or 6 or 7.
It's 10.
It's so many guys going after this because the class is so deep. I can't believe that they're first having this discussion now about taking teams off of the over-under on wins situation and how that works right now, because you probably should have done that in the first place. You know why? The NBA's been doing this forever. You have teams who are making themselves bad on purpose, which is the antithesis of what these betting houses want. They want to get a straightforward game. They want to get guys, and they want to get a decent line on it. They can't get it on a night like that. I mean, I was watching last night. The game last night in Salt Lake City was the biggest joke of a game in probably the entire season.
Yeah, it was.
It was awful. You took your kids to that game. I hope it was a $5 ticket to get into that upper bowl, because it was not a great basketball game to watch. You did get to see Jaren Jackson Jr. for the first time in a Jazz uniform at home, and that's great. But you're not getting a lot of positivity right now out of this entire league. And 30 teams can't be contenders every year. 10 of the teams, 9 of the teams, 8 of the teams, whatever it is on any given year on how good the draft class is, are going to make an attempt to make sure that they're the top of the class of being the bottom of the class. And that's the way that this game works. So Jaren Jackson Jr., season-ending knee surgery, fine. Do whatever you need to do to get that guy 100% so that next year Walker Kessler, hopefully, cross your fingers that those negotiations go well.
I feel good about it, even though I think there's some mending that has to be done.
What kind of mending are you talking about? Just the money side of it?
Well, yeah. Well, I think you have listen. You have somebody who thinks we're all human beings, okay? And all of you listening, you have to understand. You have a place where you work and you think you know what you're worth, and then you find out that your boss doesn't think you're worth as much as you think you're worth. It hurts your feelings.
He's got that hot UCCU money, I thought.
It's insulting. You got to get over that. But eventually you and your boss sit down, you come to an agreement, and you try to meet halfway. I think that Walker Kessler's camp, and I think it's more his agent than him himself, is probably upset with the Jazz.
Oh, sure.
They come to a conclusion and they meet halfway on this, or somebody out there puts up a crazy bid and signs him to a crazy offer sheet. The Jazz are going to match that offer sheet. And that's the gamble that the Jazz play in this, is we've seen this over and over again. When you want to let another GM dictate the market for you with a free agent, restricted free agency, you put yourself at risk of losing that player.
It is tough because
you end up matching a contract you didn't want to match, when if you could have just simply talked about it last summer, you could have maybe split that gap.
Well, you certainly wouldn't have the. So what you have now is, it's not just that. You also have a guy who's going to come in and go $36 million, $49 million, $52 million, $58 million, and so he goes, "What about me, man?
Right.
I'm on my way to these types of numbers too. It looks like you guys value other people over me." And the answer is, this is a 5-person starting group that we have to put on the floor, and we have to pay a lot of money. They're going to have to pay a lot of money to Keontae when it's time. They're going to have to pay a lot of money.
That's next summer.
That's crazy, because in my mind it
doesn't start until after next season.
Right.
But they've got to make that extension happen.
So it's crazy. His rookie deal is going to be up already, right? And
yeah.
So that first post-rookie contract negotiation for him, it feels like it's early because he's done so well now.
He's earned a max.
And he has. And it's crazy because then you're going to go into, cap hell very quickly if you don't play your cards right.
This is why what happened when this trade for Jaren Jackson Jr. went through, who was thanked for allowing it to happen? It was Ryan and Ashley Smith. Why did they have to sign off on this Jaren Jackson Jr. deal? because this is going to put them into luxury tax territory. Once everybody's signed and they built this team out, it's going to be very expensive.
Wild.
But the Smiths are willing to pay it because this is what they were looking forward to all along. This is why, talking to Ryan, he talked about the pain. I had a conversation with him. He said, this is going to be painful. We know it is, but it's going to be worth it in the end. Guess what? The end is here. The pain is over, but now he's absorbing the pain financially. The payoff is now that. He's willing to do it because this was the vision all along, was building a roster that could win a championship. And if they hit with this lottery pick coming up and they keep it and it's a top 3 or a top 1, then you all of a sudden added the potential superstar to this group that's already great. And then you're competing for championships, which was the goal all along.
It's interesting because, yeah, and you bring up the Smiths because it's been Ryan Smith, Ashley Smith, the Utah Mammoth, and then we think about the Jazz and we go, Danny and Austin Ainge, Justin Zanuck, and of course the Smiths. They're kind of focusing on Ryan Smith is a basketball guy. Like, he can't wait, and he's a hockey guy too. You can be both.
Why not? We've all become both.
You have to be, but Ryan Smith's love, to correct me if I'm wrong, is his first love is basketball,
100%.
and he loves this franchise.
He wants the Jazz to win a championship more than anybody,
and it's like him, Will Hardy,
and he's willing to write the checks to make it happen.
Yeah, and I think that they're well on their way, and I think you're going to see everything come around, and then you're going to see, oh yeah, you forgot the Smiths are basketball people.
Yep.
Don't forget they're basketball people. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. When we return, we're here at the RV show, and we'll chat with one of our great friends here from the RV show. Robbie Jensen is going to join us from the RV store of Utah. Just so happens to be my next door neighbor. Like not near me.
What are the odds?
Not near me. Like, he has to call me and tell me to tell my kids to go to bed. That's how close.
He has to tell you to clean up after your dog.
No, I don't have a dog. We don't have a dog.
Okay.
No, Mr. Cat, his cat lives in my neighborhood or lives in my backyard sometimes. So yeah,
he has a cat named Mr. Cat.
He does. It's the best cat, too.
Mr. Cat.
Right, we'll talk about Mr. Cat next.
I can't move on.
We'll talk about Robbie
Mr.
next.
Cat? This is going to come up.
It's a real.
This is going to come up.
He's a real person. He's a real cat person. Okay, we'll come back. We'll talk with Robbie here at the RV show. 97.5 VKSL Sports Zone.
Listen, everybody. Real-life hypotheticals to get your brain churning. As JJ and Alex ask, would you rather?
All right, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5 VKSL Sports Zone. Alex Kirry, Jeremiah Jensen. We appreciate you joining us on the program. We're going to chat with Robbie Jensen of the RV store of Utah coming up here in a couple of minutes, and we'll talk about Mr. Cat as well. However, before we get it going here, I've got a would you rather. Would you rather be the undefeated, bona fide G6 or the middling Power 4? And when I say Power 4, I'm not talking. Maybe
what do you mean by middling?
I'm saying you're Mississippi State's.
I would rather be the G6. Let me tell you why.
Let me think of somebody else. Who's somebody else? Like in the ACC, who's a middling? Right
now it's Clemson.
Ooh, what a diss!
How about Pitt?
Okay, Pitt.
You want to go with a Pitt, like a team like that?
Yeah.
Like the chances of a Pitt or a Mississippi State going to the college football playoff,
pretty low.
They're extremely low, right?
For the foreseeable future.
Breaking into the top, so in the ACC, basically you got to be top 2 to have a chance.
Yep.
In the SEC, top 4, which is rarely going to happen because the top teams are so good.
Well, if you ask them, it's top 7.
So you're talking about being like the top G6. Let's say Boise State.
From 2 years ago, yeah.
I'd rather be Boise State. I don't know why. Because you're going to have more opportunities, and the path is going to be actually more realistic and easier than it would be for a Pitt or a Mississippi State. And you're thinking to yourself, well, you got access. You're in the Power 4. You have the same resources.
Well, the payout.
I don't understand.
No, the payout is significant.
You're Boise State. You have a culture. You have an identity. You have a past. You have a tradition that's very positive. And you have recent success. And you had a guy almost win the Heisman Trophy. And you are probably going to be in the mix every other year to win that G6 bid.
I love you, JJ. You are crazy.
Why?
Because, come on.
When is Pitt going to make the playoffs?
It doesn't matter.
When is Mississippi State? When is Wake Forest going to make the playoffs? It definitely
doesn't matter if you're Mississippi State because you know what you're doing? First of all,
and your argument is what? That Boise State would jump at the chance of joining the Power Four? Of course they would.
No, it's not about that.
What is it about?
It's about the fact that if you're wondering if they're going to be able to turn it around or figure it out or whatever it might be, you are already in the haves. You are already in the haves, and the have-nots are never going to be in the conversation for you. The only reason you're going to have not compared to the other teams in your conference is because your donor base doesn't do well enough or your coaches aren't very good at the transfer portal game, which is what you have to be good at. And again, people look at Mississippi State and they go, right? And they go, don't necessarily want to be there. But the athletic department at Mississippi State is going, thank you, in 3 years. Or an even better situation is the Big Ten. A middling team in the Big Ten, your Marylands, your Rutgerses, those guys in 2 years, their payout is going to be $90 to $100 million.
And they're not making any money. Their
athletic
Rutgers department has fiscal problems.
Okay, the football team has physical problems. The department has fiscal problems.
Right.
I get it. Not good players, and then and bad money management. The bad money management, that's on them. I'm saying because I'm looking at it in Alabama, by the way. They showed. Did you see this? I got to show you this.
Would you rather have been Duke this year or Tulane?
Yeah. Oh man, that's a good question.
See?
That's a really good question.
Duke won the ACC championship. That was supposed to be an auto bid. It was not.
It was not. But I will say this:
James Madison got in ahead of Duke.
But Tulane.
James Madison.
But Tulane and James Madison both ended up being jokes in the college football playoff.
But even as jokes, they actually deserved it more than Duke, which was the ACC champion.
I think playing 4 years at Duke, I would take those chances versus playing 4 years at Tulane.
Well, when we're talking about education, but that was a
different
I'm not
talking about education. No, that's not even a thing, JJ. That's not even a thing.
Well, their quarterback loved it so much he couldn't wait to get out. He was there for 1 year.
Oh, my goodness.
He was, ironically, at Tulane the year before.
They must have been so
Darian
mad.
Mensah, who's now the quarterback at Miami.
They must have been so mad when Miami must have been so mad when he signed the deal because they were like, oh, my gosh, we're going to have to pay these freaking guys.
Yep.
All right, but they were willing to do it.
Yeah, they were.
We'll take a break. We'll come back. More to go. 97.5 KSL Sports Zone.
Accessing.
When TV and radio collide.
Love it.
Wow. This is what you get. You're listening to JJ and Alex.
Don't touch that dial.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Second hour of the program. Thanks for being with us. We're at the RV show here at the Mountain America Expo Center in Sandy. So you can come down, get some great deals, shop, compare. That's what it's here for, right? Just come down and the big thing is, JJ, when people come in and they go, man, I'm looking for something. And these dealerships are like, look, we got some 24s. We have some 25s we want to get rid of. We have like two 24s. Please take them off our hands. And they give you crazy deals, man. So come down, check it out, and drool over it just like we have been. Joining us on the program right now, RightsForNBA.com, of course, covering the Utah Jazz. Eric Spyropoulos joining us on the program. Eric, what's going on, man? And now Eric Spyropoulos going to join us on the program. Eric, you there with us?
Yeah, second time's the charm.
Hey, yeah, I was going to say. As soon as we get when we're not there in studio, it's always hard because we're already doing this thing over the ether anyway. So,
yeah.
Hey, how about this win streak for the Utah Jazz? I'm sure it's what a great game to be watching last night. I was tuned in and I was going. JJ and I had a little bit of a friendly back and forth about where Triple J was going to hit with his home opener. I took the over on 26.5. He took the under smartly because. Man, he had that underlying knee issue, and now the Utah Jazz have shut it down for the season. When did we find out about this, and what were kind of the full details of what they said about the Triple J injury?
Yeah, I mean, it was something that they had kind of discovered, I think, post-trade with a physical, and it's kind of this growth in and around his knee that essentially you have to address at a certain point. Otherwise, it can kind of build up and become really damaging. And obviously, he's just 26. I know he's been in the league for 8 years, which is kind of hard to believe. But still 26, you kind of want to obviously make sure that he can be super productive and healthy. And, they're going to have the procedure during the All-Star break and then kind of reevaluate from there and hope he makes the full recovery, obviously, in time to kind of lead into next season. But I don't think it's anything that's like super concerning at the moment, but something that they kind of discovered and realized that this would be a good time to address it for his long-term health.
Well, we did get to see him in a Jazz uniform for 3 games, one in front of a home crowd at the Delta Center, and I'm sure that was great for him to get that experience. What did we learn about the Jazz with Jaren Jackson Jr. in the lineup in those 3 games?
I think the biggest thing we learned is that there's a lot of potential on the defensive end. Obviously, this isn't even the full kind of group that I think Austin Ainge and the front office and coaching staff are envisioning for next year with someone like Walker Kessler coming back. And obviously Keontae George went down pretty early in that Orlando game with the sprained ankle. So we haven't seen the full team, but even with Jaren playing next to Lauri Markkanen, playing next to Yusuf Nurkic, guys like Cody Williams, Ace Bailey, even some of the other newcomers like a Vince Williams Jr., the Jazz have had probably 3 of their best defensive efforts of the entire season in those 3 games with Jaren. They basically just shut off the paint. They don't allow teams to score inside the paint with Jaren on the floor, and even without off the floor, they still have a lot of size. And on the offensive end, you see a guy who can not only kind of space the floor, kind of play within the flow of the offense, but he can get a bucket on his own, which I think the Jazz offense had kind of been missing over the past few years. And so when you add that element of a guy who can score in the post on a drive one-on-one situation, you add another wrinkle to a Jazz offense, which at times this year has already been really powerful. So we saw a lot of good glimpses, I think, even though it's obviously only been 3 games, but you're kind of projecting forward based on what we saw in these 3 games, and I think you have to feel really good about it.
We were kind of having these discussions over the last few days about, it's a bummer because you have all these names, all these guys who are making inroads, and obviously and maybe just as big of the acquisition of Triple J was the presence of Keontae George and like the arrival of what he's become, which is not just a pretty darn good player, but people are talking about this guy going, man, if you redo that draft class, he's maybe the number 2 in that one, and you go, that's a win, for this group. But this trade doesn't look nearly as good and maybe even doesn't happen if you don't have that type of development. How much of a big deal has it been to be able to reimagine this team, not just from that defensive level, because it's been historically bad defensively, of course, over the past couple of years, but now that feeling of a reset does feel like it's more there, and how is the front office now dealing with all of that? I would imagine they'd be pretty excited about what the future looks like.
Yeah, I think you have to be feeling really good. Obviously, with it's all kind of, I think the jumping point last year is landing Ace Bailey in the draft, and a guy that people have been really high on, has a lot of talent, has fit in really well this season, I think, on both ends of the floor. And he even just got named to the Rising Stars game today as a injury replacement for Cooper Flagg. So the Jazz will be represented at All-Star Weekend. But Keontae's rise is, probably the story of the season because, like you said, I think it does give more confidence to the front office to go out and make a move for a guy like Jaren Jackson Jr. when you think you have that kind of perimeter lead ball handler, dynamic scoring guard locked down at a guy who could be, at an all-star level in the years to come for Keontae. And then obviously you've already got Lauri Markkanen. We had seen what Walker Kessler could do last year and even in the first few games of this season and how he had grown, Ace Bailey. And then you had a couple other, young flyers off the bench, Isaiah Collier, Bryce Sensabaugh, Kyle Filipowski, Cody Williams. And so all of a sudden you're looking at a team where you think you're going to have good depth. You think you got a few high-end pieces already. Now you can go and make a move for a guy like Jaren Jackson Jr. and bring him into the mix to kind of add to that defensive side of the ball. I think that all of those pieces, led by Keontae's rise, are what led to this move for Jaren Jackson Jr.
And there's just so much hope and excitement about this. And it's interesting in the last couple games because they weren't playing Jaren Jackson Jr. and Lauri Markkanen in the third quarter, and a lot of people will pan this that follow that follow the league. They're like, oh, they're not really serious. They just did that to tank, and they're not really serious about developing those young players. But the fact that they gave those young players a chance to play meaningful minutes in a game against a team as good as the Miami Heat and win that game and finish well. What does it say about the development of those young guys that were in at that time? Isaiah Collier, Kyle Filipowski, and Bryce Sensabaugh. These players are really coming into their own, and they're starting to benefit from the amount of minutes that they've been able to play because of this rebuild.
Yeah, I think it speaks to the organization's focus and dedication from overall sense on player development over the past few years. Obviously, last year, most of those guys got a lot of playing time and made a lot of strides. This year, they've been getting some more playing time, but they've also had some vets to kind of compete with in the locker room, including, to the two of the newcomers, Vince Williams Jr. and John Conchar from the Grizzlies. Will Hardy talked last night actually about how, the young players can learn from those vets, and then the young players can also help the vets kind of get comfortable in the Jazz system. These are prime fourth quarter opportunities, especially on the road too, in more of a difficult environment, to get against teams that are trying to compete for the playoffs. And down the road, when the Jazz are competing, they're going to want those young players to be ready for those moments, because they expect to have a lot of games like that they're going to try and win to make the playoffs in the really tough Western Conference. And so sometimes you see small glimpses. Sometimes you see a guy like Isaiah Collier have 22 assists in a game, and the next game scores career high in points. The flashes might be small, they might be big, but either way, they are growing opportunities for those young players.
Eric, you cover this team really closely, and it's always an awkward thing. Well, it's not something that we've had to deal with a ton in our market, because this team has always been relatively successful, and, any talk of tank and all that stuff, I try to remove yourself a little bit from how close you are with the team, just from an overall view. What's the reality on when the Jazz take this criticism on how they're handling it, and that it's somehow so much worse than what other teams are doing to create a spot for themselves within the rules of how this thing has been set up? It just is a team that hasn't taken advantage of those rules like so many others have. It just seems like the Jazz are taking a heavier hit on this thing.
Yeah, it is an interesting – I think the discourse around tanking in general has been really interesting to kind of follow over the past few years. Obviously, I think, it really blew up with the 76ers in the process, which is actually a decade ago at this point, which seems hard to believe. But it kind of died down. They made reforms to the lottery odds and they added the play-in tournament, and they kind of was hoping that teams would compete for that. But it is interesting, I think, that the Jazz specifically are getting kind of the most attention in this, when there have obviously been a lot of teams in the past that are, not playing guys after they trade for them, shutting them down, limiting their minutes, et cetera. I think there is kind of, when you make a trade, I think that also brings naturally a lot of attention to your team, especially when you trade for an all-star like Jaren Jackson Jr. And so I think a lot of attention did shift to the Jazz basically over the past week or so, with the expectation of seeing Jaren Jackson in a Jazz uniform, how's it going to fit, all these things. But you mentioned the dynamics, you mentioned the rules. The team is trying to balance kind of getting synergy with new players, but also developing young talent at the same time, and then trying to envision their path to becoming a playoff team once again. And that also a key part of that is, adding another piece in the draft this year, which people say can be a really, good draft at the top.
Could be a historic draft as far as the talent goes, and I've heard some say as good as the 2003 draft. That we'll have to let time tell on that one, but it tells you, Eric, the level of talent that is in this draft is unquestionable. I mean, the depth is phenomenal. And last year was a good draft too, and one of those guys in that draft, the Jazz got Ace Bailey at number 5, and it's been interesting to watch his development. He's getting a lot more minutes now that he's been healthy. He played 40 minutes against the Pacers, 40 against the Hawks, 37 against the Heat. What is he doing in those minutes? What are you seeing right now from Ace Bailey that should have Jazz fans really excited about his future?
I think the thing that should have Jazz fans most excited is actually not his scoring. I think that is such a natural part of his game, and will just grow naturally in the Jazz system as he develops strength, gets more comfortable, adds weight in the offseason. All those things. I think his scoring is so natural from all three levels, and his buy-in to the Jazz system. I think it's really the defense and the playmaking that you're seeing, and included in that is kind of his rebounding, which can be on both ends of the floor. But, he has been, last night he has 4 assists, and it's not just, these simple, okay, I'm making the extra pass. It's, I might be running a pick and roll with a guy like Yusuf Nurkic, or, finding Lauri Markkanen or Jaren Jackson off the screen. And he's willing to set screens. He's willing to rebound. He's willing to pass the ball. He's fitting into the system. So I think outside of his scoring, which I think everyone expected to see from him, it's the other parts of his game that have really kind of shown up, especially over the past month or so with this larger role. That, I think, is what should have Jazz fans most excited.
Jazz Blazers tonight. and it's going to be the last one here at home before the All-Star break, and I don't know what we're going to do with ourselves. For us, the Super Bowl is hit, football's over. Basketball now hits the break. Hockey is nowhere to be found currently. Eric, any suggestions?
In the Olympics.
I know, but it's not. Come on, man. Like, we got to get something. Everything's on a break right now.
We're starving. That's what you're saying. We're starving.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, Eric, do you end up going on a break somewhere, too? Are you going to end up going somewhere cool?
I don't know if it's cool to me because I'm from New York City, but I'm going back home for a few days just to get away and kind of disassociate for a little bit of a break.
Yeah. You go over there and just start talking about, I can't believe the Jazz are tanking. Can you believe this?
This is egregious.
Just get to that level again. Kind of get back in the center of the basketball universe there in New York. Eric Spyropoulos, he writes for the NBA.com, of course, to the Utah Jazz, and gives us all these insights all the time. We appreciate it, man. Thanks for being with us, and enjoy the break.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
There you go. Eric Spyropoulos, everybody. Good for him. Getting back.
Yeah. That's nice when you work a beat and you get a chance to take a break and go home and recharge the batteries. Good for him.
I mean, it's not the beach, but I hear the Hudson River is beautiful this time of year.
Well, I mean.
Remember when Kramer swam the Hudson River? Why does everything come back to a Seinfeld reference for you?
Everything does.
It's terrible.
Either that or Arrested Development.
I think you should leave. We're very contemporary now.
We've got plenty of
all stuff that we have to avoid using cusses on. So we appreciate Alex Napolis keeping his hand near the dump button.
Yes.
We'll come back when we do return. I don't know if we're up against it with if Sam's going to be able to join us. Napolis, are we? Okay. All right. He's officially just talked to Team USA coming off the ice against their big win over Latvia. We'll get his thoughts on what that first game looked like for Team USA on the ice in Milan Cortina. We'll talk to Sam Farnsworth from KSL 5 Television next, right here, 97.5 KSL Sports Zone.
Ladies and gentlemen, the
biggest name. You're locked into JJ and Alex. With the insight and analysis on the teams you can't live without. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Thanks for being with us on the show. Of course, KSL 5 Television is your exclusive home of the Winter Olympics here at 2026 and Milan Cortina. We'll get to Sam Farnsworth momentarily here, who is standing by in one of those very places or a totally different city. I don't know. He had to take a bus to like 14 different connections last time we chatted with him to get up to Lavinia or whatever it was. And so Sam's all over the place. But before we get to Sam, I want to remind you the KSL Sports Zone and Beehive Meals are honoring people that impact the youth sports in your communities. People who do an awesome job in the youth sports where you live. You know who those people are, and they're doing it without any fanfare, but we want to give them the fanfare. They deserve it. They're helping our kids out, and my heavens, we want to throw something their way. And Beehive Meals, the hero of the week, go to KSLSports.com/contests and nominate that person today, and they'll get themselves honored on our social media pages. JJ and I read off those winners every week. And then on top of it, we are able to also tell you that Beehive Meals is chipping in $250 to use at their place. So there you go. David Peterson is the winner of this week's Beehive Meals Hero of the Week award, nominated by Lori. David has a lifelong passion for basketball. His own high school basketball coach recently passed away from a heart attack, which is deeply painful for him. David's coaching style and ethic came from this coach, who instilled in him the passion for helping youth build a strong foundation for success, not only in teamwork but individual worth. He believes in each player and works hard to teach them important fundamentals, both physically and mentally. 20-plus years of experience refereeing high school basketball. He's dependent on love and understanding for the game through his knowledge. He helps players develop their skills even deeper. David loves the youth and strives to help them learn and succeed through his incredible ability and talent. So congratulations to David Peterson for being our winner this week of the Hercules Hero of the Week Award. You get $250 to Beehive Meals. Thank you so much for all you've done for your community, and we ask you to nominate others as well at KSLSports.com/contests. Joining us right now, live from the Winter Olympics in Italy, he is Sam Farnsworth. Sam, Team USA pulled it off, man, a 5-1 win over Latvia. It's a good start to this tournament, right?
Not too shabby at all, guys. I think at this point of my Olympic coverage, you can say joining us alive from Italy instead of
okay,
live.
good. Glad you're still with us, Sam.
My favorite part is that JJ can totally relate. Like, you guys have had to do that grind.
Oh, it's hard.
And then other people go, oh, yeah, it's real hard for you to go to the Olympics, bro.
When?
And I'm telling you, like, the amount of 18, 20, 22-hour days that you guys do, it's phenomenal. So, alive from Italy, Sam Farnsworth, Team USA gets a nice one in the books. How did the team in red, white, and blue look on their first game, man?
Not too bad. So that first period, I don't know how much you guys watched of the game, but that first period kind of, it seemed like there was a little bit of some sluggishness to it a little bit, but they also I felt like they got robbed of a couple of goals. Or they had 2 goals that were turned back, after review. And so it was 1-1 after the first period, and it just kind of felt like, man, they sleepwalking through this or what? What's going on? But then the second period, they turned it up a notch. You're like, okay, here's this team that we've been talking about. Here's this team that everyone's excited about seeing. And they turned it on from there, and, of course, they end up with that 5-1 win, pretty convincing. I think we're talking about Milan, Italy. I don't know how many people paid to come here and then bought tickets, but it felt like a home ice advantage for the U.S. At first, it didn't. There was a lot of Latvia chants, but I think that was every other country fans that were there combining to cheer against the U.S. But as soon as the U.S. got going, the USA chant started to ring out. The Freebird was playing like nonstop, right, over the PA, and the crowd was pretty loud.
That's awesome. Great start for the Americans. Did you have a chance to also watch the Canadians start?
I missed that. I did go over the box score and everything. They looked.
The only reason why I was going to ask you that is because I was hoping to talk about the contrast, because apparently they were just incredible as well.
From the get-go.
And we're coming into this tournament, Sam, and you know this. Like, it's Canada or USA. I know there's some other teams that feel they have a chance, but you talk to the experts, it feels like it's going to be USA versus Canada. What does the USA have to do to find an edge against a Canadian team that is just loaded and stacked and is off to such a great start today?
I mean, they're going to have to keep pace scoring-wise. That's just the way I see it, right? You're going to have to score goals.
Yeah.
And, you mentioned it. You just look at Canada's roster and how much talent they have and all the goal scorers they had. I mean, it started with a Macklin Celebrini goal today. And look, they got to a slow start, too. It didn't happen until the last minute, I think, of the first period where they finally scored, but the Macklin Celebrini scores, and then just, the break line was cut or whatever, and, Nathan McKinnon scores, and 5 different players score goals, and that's just the very tip of the Canadian iceberg there. I mean, they are so talented, and I think the best way you beat them, yes, you're going to have to get into a shootout with them, because I think the weakness, if there is one with Canada hockey this time around, might be the goaltending. And so that's where I think if the U.S. is going to hang with them when it comes time to it, and they do, if I remember right, they do face each other in a group play. I'm going to have to look at the schedule again, but I feel like they do face each other before it gets to knockout stages. I'll have to double check that. Don't quote me on it, or look it up, or do whatever. Get Alex on that, But
hey, Alex, go ahead and send a tweet out that Sam Farnsworth says they're going to be playing this one. It's fine.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's what it's going to come down to. Is just you're going to have to score a lot of goals.
Obviously, like, people are watching. They were waiting for Team USA to take the ice. That was a big one, and the women's team, of course, looking like they're going to be the outright favorites going into the medal rounds of this tournament. Across the rest of the board, we saw that Chloe Kim got that silver today instead of defending that the 2 gold medals. I saw the first part of it, and then I left my house. I go, she's got this thing wrapped up. And then she lost it. I know that that's disappointing for her to get the silver, but that's a historic woman on the mountain. And I saw Miles Garrett, her boyfriend, there. Are they engaged yet now, by the way? Are they I can't remember if they're engaged or not. And if not, he better do it on the mountain.
I am not the relationship expert.
Yeah, if not, it's what everybody else is doing. You gotta get engaged at the game. So,
right.
But Chloe Kim gets the silver. But Team USA started to come up in the medal count, man.
Yeah, they are. And, we talked about that a couple of days ago after I survived my bus ride back to where I was going. But yeah, we talked about that, how, the opportunity for them to start making a bit of a climb in the medal count was coming. And immediately that next day, we saw, 2 medals in women's moguls. You saw a medal, Ryan Cochran-Siegel in downhill. You see Chloe Kim grab another medal. The medals are starting to come, and they're going to keep coming. I mean, you see some of these events that are coming, some of these speed skating events. There's more moguls events. The duals moguls, I think the United States are going to do really well in that as well. I mean, the medal count will continue to climb. We'll see if they can hang with some of these other European powerhouses, but the U.S. is still they're still going to have a great showing when it's all said and done.
With so many Utahns in these games, we're following the local athletes especially. Clayton Keller's one, although he was a scratch today. It's kind of a bummer. Hopefully he gets some ice time with Team USA. But what are some of the local athletes coming up that have something big coming up that we need to keep our eye on so we're ready to watch when they do?
Well, I'll say this. I will touch on Clayton Keller really quickly here because, he was the healthy scratch today, right, and didn't play. But I feel like, and this is just me based off of kind of a few things I've been told around here, but it feels like there's still going to be a little bit of experimenting with some of their lines. They've got a really good idea of what they want for the U.S., and I think you saw a lot of that tonight, or this afternoon, whatever time it is over there. But I think there's still going to be a little bit of experimentation with line play coming up where you might see Clayton Keller get on the ice and get a little more time. Plus, they play back-to-back nights. They play Saturday and Sunday coming up. And in a situation like that where you don't want to gas people, especially before you get into knockout play, that's an opportunity where some guys might get rest. And where Clayton, I really feel like he's going to get an opportunity to be on the ice for, 15 to 20 minutes in one of those games. So, I've kind of shifted my focus back here to hockey. And speaking of another local in the hockey, J.J. Peterka was on the ice tonight with Germany, got an assist on the go-ahead goal for Germany against Denmark. He's definitely one of the guys that the German team is super excited about. And they just, some of the guys that I talked to on that team, I talked to Leon Draisaitl about him, and he just spoke so highly of J.J. And then, Olli Maatta, he's not playing a ton right now with Finland. I think he only played 9 minutes in their game, and then Karel Vejmelka did not play for Czechia. Like I said, it was probably a good thing, right? It's probably a good thing he didn't play in a 5-0 loss. Yeah, they might have needed it. And so maybe now it's his turn. Maybe they hand it over to him these next couple of games and he shows out. So, but I'm switching my gears to hockey now. We've got Hillary Knight, who resides in Salt Lake City now. She's going to be playing in the quarterfinals tomorrow for the United States women's team, who, as you mentioned a little bit earlier, JJ, they are just fantastic. They are so fun to watch. And so they're officially into their knockout stages now. And so I think it's, man, I know hockey the Olympics get people excited about some of the most unusual sports that you'd never watch, like curling or whatever, right? And we all suddenly put on the red, white, and blue and cheer. But hockey's got my heart here at the Olympic Games now.
Sam Farnsworth, KSL 5 Television. You've been working on a lot tonight. Obviously, I'll be able to see. I guess when it's 4 a.m. for you, we're going to be able to see some great coverage from Game 1 from Team USA. We're looking forward to the rest of the coverage, man. And you're doing an awesome job. I'm like following every tweet. I'm like seeing all the stuff that goes on. You're better. You're definitely better than Matt Gephardt. I mean, gosh.
I won't tell him you said that.
Oh, hey, listen. You got to. Yeah.
Hey, Sam, be careful, Sam. There's going to be an investigation.
Oh.
He's going to get to the bottom of this.
trying to get extra moments to talk about the Olympics.
Sam Farnsworth asked at Gephardt investigate.
Yeah, Sam Farnsworth, is he stealing extra airtime from the rest of us? I'll have the investigation tonight. Well, we appreciate it, man. Get some rest, hopefully, and we'll talk to you again next week, and hopefully you have a great weekend, man. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you again.
There you go. Sam Farnsworth. Yeah, like I said, cannot get somebody representing the U.S. and Utah better than Sam Farnsworth. I know the athletes are great. But, I honestly, we need Sam to be that to be the outreach person. Because if somebody runs into Sam and goes, where are you from? Oh, Salt Lake City. Then they get into it, and then they go, I had preconceived notions on Salt Lake, and then I met a man named Sam Farnsworth. And let me tell you about him. His great-great-great-grandfather, Philo T. Farnsworth, invented the TV. I don't know if they're related. It's fine. Okay. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We have more around the corner. I've got a top 10 for you. You don't want to miss that, so stay right here. We're at the RV show here in Sandy at Mountain America Expo Center. Come down, get a great look at some of these RVs. Go take a look. I may be during the break here. We might jump into this Moab Juggernaut, which is basically the most the coolest vehicle you could have, the coolest RV you could have in the apocalypse. Okay? We'll leave it at that. Stay here, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Your home for the best coverage of the Jazz, Utes, and Cougars is right here on The Zone. This is JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody. Welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Thanks for being with us on the program. We are at the RV show at Mountain America Expo Center here in Sandy. We're here a couple times a year. And I was saying, too, this is probably my 25th or so show. I'm no rookie to this stuff, JJ. You aren't either. Like,
no, we've done a lot of these now.
We've done a lot of these, and we know what to expect. But I am still shocked every year when somebody comes in and goes, "Yeah, but look at this," and you go, "They've done it again. They've done something different, and it's cooler, and it's better, and you can even get it for better deals. All those things." And so you can come down and check those out. And we'll be chatting with Brett from Paris RV in just 1 second here. Before we do, I was looking at the. I was looking at this, JJ, and I was trying to understand because I know that winter metals aren't our thing. However, the metal count looks like this. Well, I'm going to do this. It's going to be a top 10.
Okay.
Right? I'm going to make you go through because it's always an eclectic mix of who's up on the metal count here as my internet starts to fart out a little bit. But okay, I've got in front of me the current top 10. It's early. Okay. It's early. But the current top 10 of metal earnings, and we're just going overall. Okay. Okay. I don't need, the golds are better. I know that they are. I know
just overall metals.
Overall metals, if I can get this thing to come up. I have the first 5 in front of me. Gosh dang it. Internet. Hey, Brant, you call somebody at Google or wherever it is we get this. But
we don't have fiber yet here?
I don't know.
Still waiting.
Yeah, I mean, look. Okay. I've got it in front of me now. Top 10. Annapolis, God bless you. You can help if you want. All right? I know the
he's optional, huh?
While you guys were talking to Sam, I looked at the list.
Oh, okay, you're out.
Oh, you
are
have to be recused.
You can't. Yeah, you can't. Right. I appreciate you being honest about that.
I'm all solo here. Here we go.
So here we go. Top of the list here. On your mark, get set, go.
Italy.
Ding.
Norway.
Ding.
Sweden.
Ding.
China. United States.
Ding.
Finland.
Going through.
Germany.
Finland. Germany. Ding.
The Netherlands.
Ooh.
The Dutch.
Ding.
Great Britain. France.
Ding.
Okay. Canada.
Ooh.
No. Luxembourg.
Can you believe? Sorry.
Who else would there be?
There's a lot of other countries in
Iceland
participating.
Geez. Russia's not in it. They can't participate. Ukraine.
Okay.
I don't know.
Sorry.
Well, I've said the big ones. What's left?
There are other.
Who else competes in the Winter Olympics?
There are others.
Okay. Japan.
Ding.
Okay. Korea. Okay.
Oh. So let me see here. No, you did well. You tell me what you did getting in. Norway, number 1.
Of course.
Italy, number 2.
Yeah.
U.S., number actually, in the medal count, it's tied between. So it's Norway. Sorry. Italy is number 1 overall in the count. Norway and the United States are tied at 14 total currently. Then we go down to one of the ones you missed, Austria.
Austria.
Yeah, it's
slipped
through
the.
It's sneaky. They're 12 medals right now, but they're downhill.
They're on the Alps.
They're Alpine.
Basically, it's their home. The Dolomites, right across the border from the Dolomites.
Alpine ski. Yeah, this is almost a home course for them.
Yes.
Alpine skiing champs, obviously.
Yeah. Okay. So I missed that one.
Japan.
Yes.
then Germany,
got Germany,
then Sweden,
got Sweden,
Switzerland,
got Switzerland,
the Netherlands,
got the Netherlands,
France.
I picked the Dutch.
I think the only
missed
one you missed
Austria.
was Austria. Yeah,
that was a big miss, though.
Korea,
I shouldn't have missed that one.
Korea,
I did throw Korea out there.
They're in 11th. Yeah.
Okay, so Korea hosted the Winter Games 8 years ago.
Canada, it's interesting because they're just outside.
That's crazy that Canada.
Just outside.
That's the one that shocks me. Canada not in the top 10 right now in medals.
Yeah, currently 6 medals for Canada. 0 gold, which is wild, right?
Yeah, it is.
I'm not gloating. I don't want you to think.
I almost said Greenland. My friends in Greenland.
I almost said Greenland.
There's only so many countries that are really.
I think that Greenland
really
competes.
good at the winter.
Don't they compete for us now?
Morocco.
I think that
Greenland.
I think that Greenland actually competes for, if there are winter sports athletes in Greenland.
Great speed skaters in Greenland. They need to compete for us.
I think they're Danish technically. I don't know.
It's in our best interest.
I don't know. I know it's a country. I mean, I know it's out there. It's on the map. It's giant on the map.
It is.
It's overrepresented on land size, but there you go. Stay here, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Accessing.
When TV and radio collide.
Love it.
Wow. This is what you get. You're listening to JJ and Alex.
Don't touch that dial.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Welcome back, everybody. JJ and Alex, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. Thanks for being with us on the program. So, I'm torn here, JJ, because on the one hand, I kind of wanted to stick it to – I wanted every possible moment to be able – for the Jazz to be able – and not that he would, not that he even thinks about these people, but we do. But I wanted Bobby Marks to have to see Jazz players sitting in the third and fourth quarter and just be incensed about it the rest of the season.
Or Brian Windhorst.
Or Wendy. I don't care who it is. Everybody at ESPN. I don't care. But I wanted to see it. And now with Jaren Jackson Jr., of course, being out with the season-ending knee injury, we get a different version of what this season's going to play out like. Not that different, I think, than we probably thought. But immediately, how does this impact the right now for this team? Well, I'll let you answer that in just a second. We're going to kick off the show as we always do. Officially, I always get ahead of myself when we're at these RV shows because, we just have a lot of eye candy in front of us. So there you go. It's the RVs, not different eye candy, okay? Settle down. So let's kick it off here with the cut. Let's jump in right here.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
And, of course, this portion of the show brought to you by Trajan Wealth, TRAJAN Wealth.com. That's Trajan Wealth for all your trusted local needs in retirement, TrajanWealth.com. All right, so thoughts on how this thing works now with Jaren Jackson Jr. Out for the season with season-ending knee surgery. I know they found a growth that they felt like was going to be.
It's a tumor.
They didn't want to deal with it further down the line.
Benign tumor.
They know it's going to be.
Got to make sure everybody knows it's benign.
What is not a tumor on? Which Arnold movie was that on?
Was it Kindergarten Cop?
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I think it was. It's not a tumor at all. Kindergarten Cop, underrated, by the way.
Yeah.
Weird concept, but and Twins, very weird concept, but it worked. It worked. Danny DeVito.
80s and 90s were a weird time for movies.
Were a bad time.
Things worked then that would not work now.
Yeah, although, leave it up to Hollywood. We'll probably see some reboots.
Hollywood's dead.
As it works, though.
Whatever Netflix wants to shove down our
How
throat
do
at
the
this point.
Jazz figure out the rest of the season here? I say figure it out. It's going to figure itself out, and I think it helps that he's going to be in civilian clothes the rest of the year.
Yeah, well, it helps the tank.
Yeah.
All right, and let's be honest. We know the Jazz have to keep that pick, and so they're going to do everything they can to keep that pick.
Sure.
And this certainly, answers a lot of questions with that. I don't know how many more games Keontae plays because of the ankle. He has a legit ankle injury. I think he actually has sprained both of them at this point. So that is an actual real situation. Lowry, I know he's healthy, but how many more minutes? And if Keontae and Jaren Jackson Jr. are out and you're just playing Lowry, especially against good teams, you know, your need to try to manufacture losses is not the same.
Yeah.
And you look, we all hate it. I hate even talking about it. But it's necessary, and it's not the Jazz fault. It's not any of these players' fault. This is how the league has operated now for 40 years. It's been a problem for a long time. The league has never been able to figure out how to fix it. They're not going to figure out how to fix it now. They're not going to be able to fix it in the future. This is how it works. When you have a league where one player can make so much of a difference, teams will do whatever it takes to get that one player or two players or three players. And right now we have a draft that might have 5, 6, or 7 of those guys. So you have a lot of teams that aren't just angling for the number one pick. They just want to be in the mix to try to get their hands on one of these talented players.
How is it that I know that the NBA has – it has its markets. I watched Jason Williams yesterday. I don't know why. I mean, I clicked on him twice, and now the algorithm is like, your best friend's Jason. Your best friend's white chocolate, right? And
you're getting a lot of Jason Williams and like random NBA podcasts.
And yes, and one of the things he said was he's like, I guarantee that Jaren Jackson Jr. saw that, and every player sees they're coming to Utah, and they go, oh, mother beep.
This is from a guy that played in Sacramento for almost a decade?
Yes.
Come on.
But
a lot of that.
We have a hard time because I think that part of us always knows that there's some of that. But I think we also know that the secret to the Jazz success is that people come in and then they don't, and then they tell people.
Did Jordan Clarkson do any of that?
No, and by the end they all go. I mean,
What is Kevin Love?
When Kevin Love and
Yusuf
Nurkic
Nurkic telling these players,
they go,
now?
"You guys don't know.
Don't listen to that narrative."
And by the way, they've played in the big markets.
Oh,
they've played in these places.
Kevin Love played in Miami.
I know, and they act, and that's always 2 or 3 on the list.
Of course,
everybody to go to.
L.A., Miami, New York.
New York, yes. And so those are the destinations. Maybe a Chicago. No,
nobody wants to play for the Bulls.
But or you start to gravitate toward names. You go, oh, Houston. Let's go to Houston. Let's go over there.
A lot of players like Houston and Atlanta for the nightlife.
Sure. And so I had to listen to this narrative too of like, no one likes Utah, man. And that it wasn't like, but man, they're always good. It didn't come with anything. It didn't come with the qualifiers. Just like, no one cares about Utah. And then they moved on, and I went, and he goes, there's 2 or 3 teams that are like that in the league. And they're like, well, who else? And he's like, Utah, Minnesota to an extent. And I'm like, Minnesota is close, man. Maybe not that close, but I mean, like, they have dudes.
Yeah.
And they're busting their butt as a small market to try to bring
Minnesota's not a small market. It's top 10.
I know, but you know what happens is people look and they go, that's not cool. Minnesota, St. Paul, Twin Cities, not cool.
If the weather's cold, it's a small market. What are we doing?
100% right. Like Denver, the reality
Miami's
is
not a big market.
Why? And Denver is
by that standard.
Denver is a way bigger market.
It's just a tropical paradise.
But Denver is looked at and they go, oh, man, it's great. It's amazing. And you're like, okay, but why? Because right now, well, 1, they have a recent title, right? And 2, they have the best player on the entire planet playing at that franchise. And other players go, oh, I want to be there. And guess what? That's exactly what's going to happen. And this is what's happened in the past with the Jazz. When they've had the players that make a great team together, suddenly people go, I'll go play there. I'm in my 9th year. I'd rather go spend some place where they have their crap together and it's not dysfunctional.
Yeah.
But it's like people know it's not dysfunctional, but they don't care. They'd much rather have the alternative, which is wearing purple and yellow.
I'll tell you what, Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to love it here because he's going to win a lot of games. And he was in a situation in Memphis where they were entering a rebuild and he wasn't going to win many games.
Yeah.
As soon as he's in the lineup next year, and if these guys, knock on wood, stay healthy and they're able to re-sign Walker Kessler, and the Jazz, if they win the lottery or get in the top 4, or even if they are at number 7 or 8, they're going to get a great player in this draft that's going to help them. And they're going to have a core and a nucleus that's going to win a lot of games moving forward. Not only are they going to be in the mix next year, definitely top 6, maybe top 4, but suddenly they're looking at a championship window opening up here in the near future because just simply by the amount of talent that they have on the roster. And if you're in the NBA and you get to play in a place that has a workout facility like they have with all the amenities, you have a place where people are passionate about the game of basketball, where you can make $50 million and compete for championships, why would you not want to be here? This is a franchise that said, Jaren Jackson Jr., you're exactly what we need to become a championship contender, we will pay your contract, we want you here, and we have a roster that's a perfect fit for you. And if you're Jaren Jackson Jr. And you're still like, but I don't want to live in Utah, like white chocolate over there.
Yeah.
That guy's an idiot.
I guarantee he didn't want to be there in
and
Utah.
what white chocolate values is not what Jaren Jackson Jr. values.
Isn't Jason Williams from as backwoods of West Virginia as you could be from?
Oh, yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, so
respect the small markets guy.
That's an old narrative that, and give Ryan Smith a lot of credit. He's been out there trying to bust that narrative. This is one of the fastest growing markets in the country, both in media and in business. It's a place where you want to be, where there's opportunity. And trust me, these players that are coming here are realizing it. Kevin Love coming in here has recognized it. Yusuf Nurkic has recognized it. Players are going to want to be a part of this. You're seeing it on the NHL side of things, too. And, look, I know the culture in the NHL and the NBA are different. What players are looking for is different. But the NHL views Salt Lake City as a top 5 free agent destination. Right. We've talked to national writers. We've talked to the players. It's a hot spot. Everybody wants to be a part of this. You want to be a part of something where the culture is healthy, where you have a chance to win, and where you can take advantage of opportunity. That's where Utah is right now, both with the Jazz and with the Mammoth. Why wouldn't Jaren Jackson Jr. want to embrace this opportunity? Why would you be like, get me out of here, send me to the Clippers because I want to live in L.A.? You want to be a part of that right now? James Harden couldn't wait to get out. James Harden could not wait to get out of L.A. so he could get to Cleveland. Think about James Harden.
Yeah.
Think about that for a second.
Donovan Mitchell and James Harden are in Cleveland trying to make magic happen.
And you know what? That might work. I'm still skeptical with Harden, but so far it's working.
You know who's not working tonight? Lauri Markkanen.
He's out.
Rest.
Well, it's the All-Star break.
That's what I'm saying. Is like
he deserves an early start.
It's like your boss, walking by on a, hey, it is President's Day weekend.
Yeah. You
think Nate will walk by us and go, hey, it's 2:00. Why don't you guys get out of here?
Take the rest of Friday off.
We're like, oh, okay. Oh, no. And then he goes, oh, no. What am I thinking? No, you guys have a show. I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
The finance department, gone.
Yeah.
Sales department, gone. It's fine. But that's what Lauri Markkanen is doing. He's heading out to vacation a little bit early.
Why not?
Yeah, look, it's cool.
Go to the Olympics.
That's too far, right? Like, come
Why?
On. How long do they have off?
From Finland. They got a week. Yeah.
They don't play back here. They don't start back up again on the 20th.
It's a true break.
I know, but like.
Yeah, 8 days.
Yeah, listen.
Go have fun. Go see.
How many kids do you have? 2? 3?
I don't know how many kids he's got, but why not go do something special?
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe he's just going to go to Cabo.
Save your pennies. Come on. You don't need to go on vacation every time there's a break. It's expensive these days, too.
It really is.
Not
for NBA players.
Maybe the RV. Maybe he brings the RV around.
There you go.
He could do it. But regardless, no Lauri tonight. Obviously, no Keontae, no Jaren Jackson Jr., no Walker Kessler. By the way, those are the 4 who are going to be the people you hang your hat on. Ace Bailey, by the way, getting the nod for the Rising Stars game finally after
That's good news.
Being an injury replacement. Do you get that's a cool experience. So I'm glad he's going to get the call.
It was weird when he wasn't named.
And it's the only representation that the Jazz have at All-Star Weekend, which is
it is wild.
So weird.
But you get it at the same time because their record's not great, and Lowry missed a lot of games, and so it's so hard to be top whatever. But for Ace Bailey, that's the kind of thing you want to be a part of and showcase as a rookie. I actually think that Isaiah Collier deserves a spot as a second-year player in that.
Yeah, that's right.
In that competition. So, I love that Ace is going to get a chance to go now. It's probably weird for him because he wasn't selected first of all, but I love that he's going to go anyway.
Yeah, but
accept this invite,
when you get
he's going to go kill it.
When you get the late invite to the All-Star Weekend, like as a reserve in the All-Star game,
yeah,
I know that's different, but I'm saying like. Those guys aren't like, well, this feels like a lame backdoor. It's like, no, man, you take it, you put it right there, All-Star, boom, and that works. And the Rising Star game, no one cares about it.
Yeah,
but I think these young guys,
it matters to them.
Love being able to be a
for
part
their
of
career
it.
and their resume.
Where's the All-Star game this week or this
LA.
This year? It's in LA.
The new,
it's cool. Oh, at the Clippers place.
Intuit. Dome. Is that what they're calling it? I don't know what the name of it is, but it's a state of it's probably the nicest arena in the league.
Yeah.
State of the art, incredible. It's going to be a great weekend for the NBA players that are participating and for fans that are able to go, and it's good for the league.
Tonight, Trailblazers come to town. What's this one look like?
The Jazz are going to lose. That's what it's going to look like.
You hope, right?
If things go well,
Brant signs off.
The Jazz win streak ends tonight. We know what the assignment is. We know what's going on here.
I mean, if they win, the
Jazz need some momentum before they go into the break. They got to lose tonight. This is why it's awkward to talk about.
They need to go out on top.
They need the strength of a good solid loss. They need to lose by 30 tonight.
Oh my gosh.
What else? What are we doing here?
I know. The funny thing was,
I want to talk about the future. I want to talk about Jaren Jackson Jr. I want to talk about what the Jazz look like.
When it was 41-19
we got to get through 27 games left still.
It's so weird because my kids were like, "Oh, we're up 41-19." I go, "Settle down, all right." JJ says we need some momentum. This is not what we're looking for.
You got to sit your kids down and tell them what's really going on here.
Hey,
I know it's normal and natural for you to want to cheer for a win. But winning is not a win.
Hey, let's talk.
A win is a loss.
Hey, can we talk about salary caps and the second apron for a minute? Can we talk about what the future of this Utah Jazz team looks like? See, that's the part that's always awkward. That's the part that's always funny to me too.
We haven't had to worry about the second apron for a long time. We're gonna have to study the second apron in the offseason. Trust me.
When the Walker Kessler, Keontae George,
these guys need to get paid soon.
I mean, there are going to be people who are going to be the victim of the fact that you can't pay everybody.
Yeah, you're going to have to figure that out.
And somebody's
going to try.
Somebody's going to have to be a part of this thing, and so it's one of these deals here where we're trying to understand a little bit about what this team is going to have to go through to be able to be the best that they can be, and to be able to be the best, and it's just not right now. So tonight.
Hey, go watch the game. Go have a good time.
Trailblazers come to town. I would absolutely be there. This is one you got to go to because
if Denny Avdia's playing and Shaedon Sharp's playing,
come on, man,
that's a good, entertaining team to watch. So it'll be a good show. But we all know the assignment.
Got more around the corner. Stay with us. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Ladies and gentlemen,
the biggest name. You're locked into JJ and Alex. With the insight and analysis on the teams you can't live without. This is 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Thanks for being with us on the program today. Hey, Scotty G's going to be on the road tomorrow in Sandy at Tim Daly Mazda. Go join him, high-five him, say hey, say what's going on. Get a deal on a Mazda at the Tim Daly Mazda in Sandy. Let me see here, JJ. Should we start with the Big 12 coaches? You want to go with let's go with something positive. I mean, I'll be honest, there was something refreshing to our late-night text exchanges between all of us, Napolis, our producer, and you and I, because it was, I think, something that we would have never heard before.
Mm-hmm.
I think that NIL has done something interesting. I don't know if it's made the players more accountable, because I don't know if they are acting more accountable. The coaches are asking for more accountability.
Uh-huh.
And let's start there. I want to start with some of this sound from the world of college basketball coaching, and specifically in the Big 12, because last night I was sitting there and it was just wild because we couldn't help but laugh at what was being said. In the post game, it sounded, you even said it, I've seen enough of these fake AI press conferences that I assumed that what we were watching, it felt like a fake press conference. One of these ones where their mouth is manipulated, their voice, and they were saying kind of crazy things. But we'll start first with what was said about the Kansas State loss to Cincinnati. And Cincinnati comes into Manhattan last night and scores 91 points to Kansas State's home 62 points. You lose by 30 at home to Cincinnati, who is, by the way, not at the top of the table in your conference. And Jerome Tang, maybe my favorite human being today, goes to the podium and goes with this direction to speak to his team.
This was embarrassing. These dudes do not deserve to wear this uniform. There will be very few of them in it next year. I'm embarrassed for the university. I'm embarrassed for our fans, our student section. It is just ridiculous. We got practice at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, and we will get this thing right. I have no answer, no words. So y'all got 2 questions. So whoever want to ask 2 questions, I'll answer them to the best of my ability right now. But right now, I'm pissed, and this is. Yeah, I don't know. I asked the staff this week that same question, and they said that more the opponents. You play. I don't know, because I followed Minnesota last year closely, and they played great on the road and struggled at home. So then they started staying in hotels at home, treating it like a road game. And so I even talked about, hey, do we need to change that change? But no, none of that crap, man. These dudes got to have some. They got some pride, man. They got some pride. It means something to wear a K-State uniform. It means something to put on this purple, man. Everything this university is about and all that it's been about, why I love this place, man. They don't love this place, so they don't deserve to be here. Yeah, I'd wear a paper bag too if I was them.
That was in reference to the student section, of course.
Incredible rant.
They were like, what do you think about this?
Coach Tang?
I know. Phenomenal. And before you go, this guy's talking about young men here. Stop. Because these young men.
Once you cash the checks.
Dude, you better.
Everything's different.
So, and by the way,
these aren't just students that are athletes.
Oh, yeah. You know what the student section have written on the bags on their heads, by the way?
What?
They're not saying get rid of Coach Tang. You know what they're saying? We have no dudes. That's what one of them said. We got no dudes. Because that's what Coach Tang has said. We got no dudes. Nobody wants to show up and play. And the other bag said,
they want the checks.
And there's and another said, please send money. We need more NIL. And I think that obviously the coaches and the athletic department might go, this is a bad look, coach. And maybe some parents are going to call up and be like, you said my kid's not going to be on this team next year? Well, I don't care. He's going to transfer. It's good.
That's what he wants.
I need guys who come in and who actually make a commitment. So don't worry, because there was another 30-point loss in the Big 12 last night, and it was Tad Boyle, the head coach of Colorado, who I don't know if he called.
Happens to be BYU's opponent on Saturday.
I don't know if he called Coach Tang and said, "What'd you say to your guys?" All right, I'm going to go off too. So here's what he said after getting their butts whooped by a very good Texas Tech team. But regardless, it was embarrassing. I think they only put up 44 points to the 74 that Texas Tech did. Here's what Coach Boyle said.
So credit Texas Tech. They have a motto with their program that the toughest team wins, and there wasn't even question who the tougher team was tonight, and that was Texas Tech, and we weren't. And so I'm embarrassed by our performance. I'm embarrassed for our university. I'm embarrassed for the city of Boulder. I'm embarrassed for the state of Colorado. I'm embarrassed for every former player that's worn this uniform. And we got to own this. But, when you give up 17 offensive rebounds and then the biggest part of the game plan is taking away their threes from their shooters, and they make 12 threes, and then we foul them on another one with 0.3 seconds to go into the first half, it's just not good enough in any way, shape, or form. I started my career as a head coach at Northern Colorado in the Big Sky, and we would travel to Bozeman, Montana, and Missoula, and Utah, Pocatello, Idaho, and we would always fly commercial, and you'd lose on the road, and you'd get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, you'd catch a 6 a.m. flight back to Denver and then drive an hour to Greeley, and that's what we deserve right now. We deserve to be on a 6 a.m. flight out of Lubbock, commercial, Southwest, whatever airline you choose. We don't deserve a charter plane back to Boulder tonight. We got one. We paid for it. But we wasted our money. We wasted our university's money, and that's on me. So I'll take the ownership of this because I'm the head coach and the buck stops with me. But I'm embarrassed. I've not said I've embarrassed very often.
Well then,
thoughts, JJ?
What do you say after that?
I do love that. Like, I mean, coaches would never do this. This is not a move that coaches would ever make. Sometimes you see the NBA coaches do this. You know, this is kind of maybe it's like a Coach Tibbs type of thing, like
sure.
an old school way of just being like, our guys played like crap tonight. They looked like hell, and you know what? Like,
I think these coaches are under a lot of pressure.
These coaches are interesting because now this is college basketball, and it's high-level college basketball. But most of the time, coaches would never dare say that because of what he said at the end, which is, the buck stops with me.
Yeah.
And it's a kind of this weird thing that we've never seen in college basketball. And I think it's a product of, hey, listen, these guys want to be treated like pros, then I'm going to talk to them like pros because they're not acting like it. They're getting paid like it, and then they're not. And then they're showing up and scoring 44 points in 40 minutes. 44 points in 40 minutes. This is not the Wisconsin Badgers in 2022, okay?
This is not a recipe for winning.
And this is not you slowing the pace. This is not you slowing the pace of the game down, and this is our style. No. Like, these other teams, like Texas Tech, or in the case of, like, Cincinnati, they go in there and they laugh as they're hitting multiple threes because a team doesn't show up to play. And, you know, at least Colorado was in Lubbock. Kansas State was at home, and they lose by 30 to a mid team in the Big 12. And so, I love it. I love the honesty. I love where they're at there. And when we come back, I want to make sure we get that Sam Merrill love. On the way back because he had a heck of a night. And
big night last night.
We've got some audio.
Historic night.
And we'll get you ready for the Utah Jazz versus the Portland Trailblazers over at Delta Center tonight, and your pregame starts at 6 o'clock and the tip at 7. So stay here, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Your home for the best coverage of the Jazz, Utes, and Cougars is right here on the Zone. This is JJ and Alex on 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
And he did a great job. Took the ball 3 different times and blocked 3 shots. 4 shots, actually, like you said.
Sam Merrill have a dearth, a shortage of big men out here tonight. Does Merrill have another? Yes, indeed. Sammy Merrill with back-to-back 3. Kenny Atkinson knows Koulibaly well, as Koulibaly played for Team France in the Olympics with Kenny coach, of course. Merrill with a terrific pump fake. Boy, he got Carrington on a flyby as Merrill has buried 3 early triples. 12.
Yes. Sam Merrill. JJ, any thought?
Money Merrill.
Can't remember where he played in college.
Utah State University, says Google.
He was an Aggie?
He was an Aggie.
Was
he was
a
Bountiful Brave at the time.
Was
the Red Hawks.
Was he any good at Utah?
He was pretty darn good, yeah. Now he's pretty darn good in the NBA.
What
a night last night.
Was it a career night for him?
Career night last night, just the first half alone. 13 minutes in the first half, 26 points, 9 of 9 from the field, 7 of 7 from 3. And he had a 30-point game. He ends up with 32 points, 11 of 12, 9 of 10 from 3.
Nice.
First player in Cavs franchise history to record 25-plus points, 5-plus threes on 100% shooting in the half in the play-by-play era. LeBron James played for the Cavaliers for a long time, by the way. The second most efficient 30-point game in NBA history.
Well, look at that. Something tells me Sam has got a place in the NBA for quite some time.
Yeah.
Just keeps impressing us as his
better.
career goes on here. So, Jazz and the it's going to be awesome. Look, it's going to be Jazz basketball right around the corner here. You're going to get pre, half, and post with Coach, and I think Jake might be out of town though. So
Jake taking a night off.
Yeah. So good for him. All ready to the break. So stay here with us. More to go. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.